She accused me of cheating. Now she's begging for forgiveness. I still remember the first time I saw her. It was like the world hit pause. The chatter, the music, everything just faded. She smiled at me, shy but electric, and in that moment, I knew I was done for. I fell, and I fell hard. Loving her wasn't a choice. It was gravity. I gave her everything, my time, my loyalty, my dreams, my heart. I worked overtime shifts to save for a future together. Skipped nights out with friends because she felt uneasy when I wasn't around. Put her needs first, over and over again, because that's what love meant to me. That's what she meant to me. And for a while, it felt perfect. We talked about building a life together, marriage, a house, even kids someday. We laughed about baby names and argued over which city had the best pizza. She was my person. Or at least, that's what I thought. But somewhere, quietly, the shift began. It started with little comments. Her asking me who I was texting, even if it was just my brother. Her getting tense when I mentioned a coworker's name, even in passing. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she was just feeling insecure. Maybe I needed to reassure her more. I didn't realize then that the seed of doubt had already been planted. It got worse. There were sudden accusations. You're hiding something from me. I know you're talking to someone else. Don't lie to me. I can tell when you're lying. Each time, it hit me like a gut punch. Each time, I tried harder. I showed her my phone. I canceled plans to stay home. I bent myself backward trying to prove that she was the only one, that there was no one else. And every time I thought I'd reassured her, it would start all over again, worse than before. I lost count of the number of nights I stayed up replaying conversations in my head. Had I said something wrong? Had I done something without realizing it? Was I somehow untrustworthy without even knowing it? The worst part wasn't the accusations. It was the look in her eyes, cold, distrustful, like she was staring at a stranger. Then came the night that shattered everything. We were out at a mutual friend's birthday party, laughing, drinking, pretending, at least on the surface, that everything was fine. But halfway through the night, she pulled me aside. Her voice was trembling, but her eyes were sharp, cutting. I know you're cheating on me, she spat. Don't even try to deny it. The words were like knives. I stood there, stunned, mouth opening and closing like a fool. The room spun around me, conversations, music, laughter, but all I could hear was the ringing in my ears. Friends turned to stare. People whispered. I tried to speak, to say something, anything to defend myself. But she didn't give me the chance. She stormed out, leaving me standing there, broken and humiliated. The ride home that night was a blur. I don't remember how I got back. I just remember sitting in my dark apartment, staring at my hands, feeling like they didn't even belong to me anymore. How did it come to this? How did the woman I loved, the woman I would have died for, think I could ever betray her like that? The days that followed were worse. She blocked me everywhere, refused to answer my calls, told our friends that I had betrayed her trust, that she should have known better. People I considered close began distancing themselves. Some didn't even bother asking for my side of the story. The guilt ate me alive. Even though I knew I hadn't cheated, I couldn't shake the feeling that somehow I was still at fault. Maybe I wasn't attentive enough. Maybe I didn't reassure her enough. Maybe I wasn't good enough to love. I stayed in that darkness for weeks. Numb, isolated, unable to sleep, unable to eat. I replayed every memory we had together, the good, the bad, trying to pinpoint the exact moment where everything had gone wrong. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find it. And that's when it hit me. Maybe the problem wasn't something I did. Maybe the problem was her all along. It was a random Thursday afternoon when I got the text. Can we talk? Her name popped up on my screen like a ghost. For a second, I thought I was hallucinating. I stared at it, heart hammering against my ribs. After everything she'd said, after the way she'd turned everyone against me, now she wanted to talk? A part of me wanted to delete the message. Another part, the wounded, still aching part, needed closure. Against my better judgment, I replied. Where? We met at a small coffee shop downtown. Neutral ground. Public enough that neither of us could cause a scene. When she walked in, she looked different. Smaller somehow. Her usual confident swagger was gone, replaced by hunched shoulders and red-rimmed eyes. She sat down across from me and for a moment, neither of us spoke. Just silence and the heavy weight of everything left unsaid. Finally, she whispered, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. I just waited. She swallowed hard, twisting her hands in her lap. I made a mistake. A huge one. I know you didn't cheat on me. There it was. The truth. As simple and as devastating as that. But why? I managed to croak out. Why accuse me of something you knew wasn't true? She looked up at me then, tears brimming. And what she said next punched the air out of my lungs. I cheated, she whispered. For a moment, I thought I misheard. What? She wiped her eyes, voice shaking. I cheated. Not you. Me. It happened once, months ago. I felt so guilty, so ashamed. Every time I looked at you being so perfect, so loyal, I hated myself. I projected it onto you because I couldn't handle the guilt. I thought if you were the bad guy, maybe it wouldn't hurt so much. The walls of the coffee shop closed in around me. My hands trembled. My heart cracked open in a way I didn't even think was possible anymore. All those sleepless nights, all that guilt, all the desperate trying to prove my innocence, and the whole time, it was her. It was always her. You destroyed me, I said, voice low and shaking. You looked me in the eye and told me I was a liar. You made everyone believe it. You made me believe it. Tears streamed down her face. I know. And I don't deserve your forgiveness. But please, I'm begging you. Give me another chance. I'll do anything. Anything to fix this. She reached across the table to grab my hand. I pulled it away. The old me, the one who loved her so fiercely, would have crumbled in that moment. He would have said yes. He would have given her another chance, no matter the cost to himself. But that version of me, that version died the night she chose to betray me. I stood up slowly, grabbing my jacket. I hope you find peace, I said quietly. But it won't be with me. I walked out of that coffee shop without looking back. Each step away from her felt lighter. Each breath easier. For the first time in what felt like forever, I was free. But healing wasn't a straight line. The anger came in waves. Some nights, I'd wake up furious, heart pounding, replaying every lie she'd told. Other nights, it was the sadness that crushed me, the realization that the woman I loved never truly existed. I kept my distance from dating. I needed to rebuild myself first. I started focusing on the things I had lost during that relationship: friends, hobbies, dreams. Got back into running. Picked up painting again, something I hadn't done since college. Slowly, painfully, I stitched myself back together, piece by piece. And then, about 6 months later, something incredible happened. I got promoted at work. Not just a small promotion, a massive one. An opportunity that would allow me to move across the country to a city I had always dreamed of living in. A fresh start. A new life. When the announcement went up on LinkedIn, guess who was one of the first people to like the post? Yeah, her. She even messaged me later that night. "I'm so proud of you. I always knew you were meant for great things. I miss you." I didn't reply, because the truth was, I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her. The dream that never really existed. But reality? Reality was better. I didn't just survive her betrayal. I thrived because of it. She became nothing more than a lesson. A painful one, but a necessary one. And me? I became the version of myself I was always meant to be. The city was everything I had hoped for and more. Skyscrapers that touched the clouds. Sunsets that painted the sky gold and crimson. A place where nobody knew my name or my past. I rented a small apartment downtown, nothing fancy, but it was mine. My walls. My peace. For the first time in years, I lived without walking on eggshells. And the best part? I was no longer just surviving. I was thriving. New job. New friends. New hobbies. A version of myself that wasn't defined by betrayal. There were still scars, of course. Trust didn't come easily anymore. There were moments, small ones, when someone would be too kind, too interested, and I'd flinch internally, wondering if they had a hidden knife waiting for my back. But I worked through it. Therapy helped. Journaling helped. Even just admitting to myself, yeah, that happened. And it hurt. And it's okay to not be okay sometimes. I learned to forgive myself. For missing the red flags. For loving someone who didn't deserve it. For staying when I should have walked away. Forgiveness wasn't about letting her off the hook. It was about unchaining myself from the weight of her betrayal. One night, a few months into living in the city, I got another message from her. A simple one. "I hope you're happy. I think about you all the time." And for the first time, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I just felt nothing. Not love. Not hate. Just peace. Looking back, I realized something powerful. She was a lesson. A painful, necessary one. She taught me to listen to my instincts. She taught me that love without trust is just self-destruction in slow motion. She taught me that sometimes, the people we would burn ourselves alive for wouldn't even light a match for us. And most importantly, she taught me about self-respect. About walking away when someone shows you who they really are. About choosing myself, over and over and over again. If you're listening to this and you've been through something similar, if you've been lied to, betrayed, gaslit until you question your own reality, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not unworthy. You are not unlovable. You are stronger than you think. And sometimes, heartbreak isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning. These days, I wake up with a clear mind. I pour coffee in my little kitchen. I run by the river in the mornings, the city skyline reflecting off the water. I laugh with new friends, build new dreams, live new stories. Somewhere out there, she's probably still stuck in the ruins of her own guilt. Still regretting. Still wishing. But me? I'm too busy living the life I built without her. And that, my friends, is the sweetest revenge of all.